Welcome to Coffee and the Bull.
All right.
Hey guys,
We're back again.
we're back again. Sorry, somebody had to go do disciplinary work.
Responsibilities of dad life.
Right. So, start it off.
I can smell the cookie candle now.
Yeah, it's about time. Like that candle's like 4 months old.
And almost dead.
So, right. Hey guys, it's Mike and John with Coffee and the Bull. We want to say thank y'all for taking a moment out of your day today and giving us a listen. You know, if you're in the group that's live, leave a comment. You know, we'll get to you here in just a minute. But we are going to be doing this straight to YouTube and Spotify and all those other applications also. So we're not going to be hitting the comments too hard. But
Yep. Real quick, though, just because our people that we do know are in, Seth Dillon, what's up? Tap Mom 32, been thinking about you. I hope y'all guys are doing good in Texas. And Samantha Grant, who is that? That must be a new person. Never heard of them before.
Sounds like she grew up in a trailer park.
Right. D-Hawk.
But-
It's an interesting name you got there. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, good talk.
That's-
Everybody
I
can
thought-
see your phone.
I-
Yeah, good.
I thought it was
way
somebody
to keep
else.
them engaged.
My kid
So-
brother's a big Jayhawkers fan. I thought that's
Anyway,
who it was.
Nobody likes the Jayhawks.
Yeah,
Anyway, guys, thank y'all for taking a moment out of your day and listening to this episode. I hope it helps. Today we're going to be talking about just kind of some of the burdens that you have as parents, and we'll go ahead and I think this will be the first ever episode. It's actually going to be like a trademark episode. We're going to include the moms in on this.
Yeah.
Not really, just joking. This is a podcast for guys.
He's trying really hard to get that sexist thing going
Right,
for us.
trying to get the bandwagon going.
Right.
But no, it's going to be there's going to apply to moms too. You know,
Right.
you got whether they're married moms or whether they're single moms, whatever, or whatever application of a parental role that you're in, step
Right.
parents or whatever. You have these moments where you've got a lot going on in your life that you can't take home to your kids. You know, like we're familiar with the concept of when you go to work, you leave home at home and work at work. You know,
Right.
And unfortunately, that's not whoever says that. When you really get down to it, it's not a realistic application.
It's not.
You know, you can't take in if I've got stress going on at home, then there's no way for me not to carry that to work with me
Right.
in one form or fashion.
And we've actually talked about expressing home life problems to the boss at work on previous episodes, where it's like, hey, you got to let the boss know, maybe not every detail, but that
Right.
something's going on at home, so the boss can understand a drop in performance or
Right.
missing days of work and stuff. And so, no, 100% agree with you. You can't always leave it at the door
Right.
of what you're about to walk into. And today we're going to be talking about kind of
the flip side of that is now work following you home.
Right, and how to appropriately not only how to approach it with your children, but also how to do it when it's appropriate and what's appropriate.
Right.
Because so many times as kids, when we were young, for Mike that was decades ago because he's so old, but
Shut up.
you had those moments as a child when you went to go say something to your mom and dad, you went to talk to them, and it was immediately, hey, close the door, get out, go to your room, go to the living room, or I'm on the phone, you need to walk away. And we run into it now where we're adults, and it's like, I don't want to shut my kid out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want them to have that feeling that I had as a kid.
Right.
Of, did I do something wrong? Are they mad at me? Are they talking about me? Or, what's the situation? And so that's kind of what we're going to broach. And in some aspects where, hey, you probably shouldn't tell your kids what's going on.
Right. There's sometimes that, especially as parents, having conversations in private,
Right,
obviously
right.
are going to be applicable. But what you can't do is leave your kid in the dark all the time and tell them, hey, don't worry about it.
Right.
Because they're going to feed off your tension. They're going to feed off of what you've got going on. My son can pick up whenever I come home and I've had a bad day at
Right.
work.
Oh, yeah.
They feed off of that almost like vultures, man.
Yeah.
And so now, granted, I will give him this. He may pick up on it, doesn't mean he cares.
Right.
It's
Right.
still something going on with Legos or Connect pieces or Minecraft, something like he's going to have something going on. Or, hey,
Right.
Dad, can I have a snack block? If I hear your voice one more time in the next hour, I'm going to put you up for adoption, kid.
Right.
But
then there's the other side of the coin where we were talking about it earlier. You have to broach some of the life struggles that you go through
Mm-hmm.
with your kids at an age appropriate level so that when your child goes through it on their own when they're an adult, they have some sort of awareness and preparedness for it. And one of the topics that we talked about was like losing your job or
Right.
struggles financially and things like that. And it's important because how many times as adults have we had a situation just come knock on the door and you're like, I don't know what to do.
Right.
Or you lost a parent at a young age, or, maybe your parents aren't that easy to talk to, and you're like, who do I turn to? Who do I ask for help? Because nobody's ever said, hey, this is what happens when you get fired.
Right.
This is what happens when, your boss comes in one day and just rips you a new one, and you're not the bad guy. You didn't do
Right.
anything wrong. You're the scapegoat for the day, or whatever the case may be. You want to be able to pass this wisdom or this guidance on to your kid so that, hey, maybe at 4 and 5 years old, they don't have to worry about getting fired. They
Hopefully.
right.
Not in this market.
Right. They got to worry about, why we don't have the good snacks, or instead of fruit gushers, we're eating fruity, squeezy, gels or something. That's a real thing, by the way. It's not. But when they get 16, 17-year-olds, they get in the workforce, and, there's guidance you can give them at an age-appropriate level that can lead them on making good choices so that your child isn't, like I was, out of a job immediately going, oh, shit, how do I pay the bills?
Right.
And luckily I had a savings account, but that was from experiences previously. That wasn't my dad ever saying, hey, bud, this could happen to you one day, because I don't think my dad's ever been fired from a job.
Right.
But at the same time, nobody ever gave me that life lesson.
Well, I got to give it to our kids, and I'm sure most parents will agree with me. Kids are very sneaky creatures, And I'll just not to put my business out there, but me and my wife got in an argument yesterday. I was taking and I've got a dump trailer that we needed to move from the back of the property to the front where she could put some stuff in it or whatever, and so I told her, I said, look, help me back up to it, because I'm in a 1995 pickup truck, so it doesn't have a backup camera and all this other stuff, right? And so I told her, I said, look, just guide me back. And I've got a lot of experience hooking up to trailers, hauling trailers, and all this other stuff. But obviously, I don't want to get in and out a
Right,
1,000
right.
times to make little minuscule adjustments.
Because no matter how many times you back it up, you could
Right.
get in that truck, be like, I am dead on it, I'm going to back straight up, and somehow you're 7 inches to the
It's
left.
also on top of that. I've got a truck with a manual transmission,
Right.
And I parked it because because I was a dummy. I parked the trailer in a spot that's not level, and all this other. So there's a couple different things, environmental factors we'll call them,
Right.
that are playing into it, and so she's got me back. And if ever you think there's a communication issue or a difference in communication, not necessarily a problem, but just a difference in communication between husbands and wives or boyfriends and girlfriends, males, females, whatever, try to back up a trailer,
Right.
or try to
Yep.
back a truck up to a trailer, and take the guidance from the other party. It's
Right.
and so that's all it boiled down to. And I'm not gonna lie, I know that all the guys are like, man, Mike, I really want to be like you. I love how you're so patient. I love how nothing seems to get under your skin. You are the epitome of what we want to live up to. I get
Hold
that.
on, I need to get out of the room before
Right,
you
right.
get struck down.
But that's not what I was yesterday at all. Like, I lost my ever-loving mind behind the steering wheel of the car, or steering wheel of the truck. She didn't deserve it. She did not deserve it at all. She was doing the best she can.
right now.
No, she's probably sleeping. So, but so I'm sitting there trying
That's
to
right,
back
Seth.
it up.
That's
and,
right.
And I'm trying to take and hook the thing up. It's just not. It's she's giving me directions. I'm not understanding the directions, and away the argument goes, right? And so I'm not gonna lie, I cursed at her. I don't remember if she cursed at me because I was so mad I didn't care what she said. I was just ready to do battle. Hey, and I don't like I told her, or my thing is, and I'm fine putting this out there because every married couple's going through that.
Oh, yeah.
It's the stupidest argument in the world. You said things that don't make sense, and you just got grumpy. So she goes inside. And I'm like, that's fine. I don't need you out of here anyway. And so I backed up to the trailer. I'll give myself credit. Hooked up really, really quick. Not that I count that as a win. Kind of do. Not really. Anyway, I hook up to the trailer, and I drive forward to the front part of the yard because I was going to wash the trailer out first before I put it where she wanted it to be. And as I go to take some stuff out. I look in the trailer, and my son is inside the trailer. He had been inside the trailer the whole time, right? I didn't know he was in there. Not that he was going to get hurt or anything. It's solid walls all the way around.
Right.
He's not as tall as a wall.
Well, and you're not on a highway or nothing. You're just driving from backyard to front.
From the back of the yard to the front. But he heard all of that. And he's sitting there almost in tears because, and I asked him, I said, buddy, what's wrong? I'm thinking maybe he hit his head on the wall when I hit the brakes or whatever.
Right.
And he's like, no. He said, I don't know why you and Mommy have to curse at each other. It's like I had to have a conversation with him where it's like, hey, look, this is something that just happens. We're mad. We're not mad at each other. We just happen to take it out on each other.
Right.
And so I try to put it down on his level. And the last thing I want to do is, well, that's because your mom's stupid. She don't know how to guide me.
Right.
You don't want to be that guy. Because one, that's not the case. So you can have that type of conversation with your son or with your children and say, hey, look, this is just it's a normal thing. It happens to everybody. We all get angry at each other and stuff like that. What you can't do is, and I'm going to go ahead and move on because I know you think something's stupid. What you can't do is have the nights that we have at work, especially being in law enforcement, or you got first responders, or firefighters, whatever they call them guys.
I don't know.
I don't know. They claim to be
secured. Maybe we'll go in.
Yeah, they wait for it to be safe or something like that. I don't know. I think they call them the cowards of the first responder community.
That's what it is. It baffles everyone that they're red and not yellow. Fire trucks used to be yellow.
Anyway, so
my point was
one thing you can't do is you can't go to work, have the nights that we have where you have somebody who passes away, and they're younger than an adult. And you take and you put them in a bag that and send them with a coroner or something like that. You can't go home with them, and when your kid's like, hey, Dad, why are you in a bad mood? Why do you seem sad and everything? You can't tell them, oh, that's because this happened. They're not ready for that conversation. You're not ready to have that conversation with them.
Right. You're not ready to have the conversation with anybody.
Right.
Specifically.
And so it's one of the things where you got to tote the line with it. But what you can't do is you can't just block them out completely. You can't say, hey, look, your kid, don't worry about it. Just go inside, play your game, or something like that.
So you weren't going to go inside and get your wife to come outside and have that conversation with your son, right?
What are you talking about?
Because you would have had to been like, hey, look, I know you're mad at me still, but our son heard everything. We need to go.
No, I don't know that she knows. I didn't tell her.
Oh, maybe it's a good thing she's not watching. No, it's funny.
It is.
It's funny you say that because, you and your wife, you guys have been married for 94 years or whatever the math is now. And I know we've talked about it before. Like, I've been present during some of your guys'. I call them spats because it's not even a longevity thing. It really is. You guys are only mad for 10 or 15 minutes, and then it's, hey, where you want to go eat, or, what are we going to, do whatever. But even now, like, I'm divorced, and my ex-wife and I, we have kids, and I do everything in my power as whatever my feelings are towards her, not to allow my kids to know how daddy actually feels. That's a funny question, Seth. I'll address that in a second. So it's very important, especially when you're angry with each other, not to. So the two questions on the board right now, just for everybody out there, because I really do want to encourage some.
Seth Dillon asked a very, very good question. I didn't get that close to the.
Just to read it.
I didn't get that close to the computer just so I could read it.
So we are encouraging the audience and interaction in that manner. So if we read your question out loud, or those of you that are going to be listening to us later on the YouTube and Spotify and TikTok and stuff, that's what we're doing, just so you understand. This is a live as well as our episode being recorded simultaneously. So the question we have from Seth Dillon, which we'll answer first, is, Mike, how did you separate your home life when you worked for yourself? It seems a lot harder. And then Tat Mom.
Hold on, Tat Mom. So we'll come back to that one.
Yeah, I got it.
So one of the things that a lot of some of the listeners may know, they may not, is I started law enforcement in 2016, but I stepped out of it in 2020 for a couple of years, or just shy of 2 years. But over the course of I did it part time while I was with a sheriff's office, and I went into it full time, running a construction company.
Leaving law enforcement altogether.
Yeah, left law enforcement altogether. Started was doing construction, and as I was working for myself, I had employees, and that was a nightmare in and of itself. one of the things that I did, and I didn't do it successfully. I want to stress that is not from the business aspect. Not all businesses I think are meant to go forever.
Right.
I'm kind of done with physical labor if I can help it. My back says, hey, you're an old guy. I know I look young, dashing, and handsome. Muscular with a gym membership, but that's not. I'm still just a fat older guy. So but one of the things that happened was I became consumed with it was constant work, and it was working. Me and my wife had bought a house that needed a lot of work. It was a repo, needed a crap ton of work, everything you could imagine, and I put that on hold to go work on everybody else's stuff. And I don't know if you know how mad a wife can get. And so all the ladies listening, y'all can probably vouch for this. They get livid when you go work on everybody else's stuff and you post pictures. Look how wonderful this house come out.
Right.
And your house still looks like trash for 2 years or 3.
Ooh,
I think we were in this house for 5-7 years, something like that.
Yeah.
It was a good time. So, or a good chunk of change, or a good chunk of time. But one of the things that I did was even when I was at home, it was. We're sitting there watching TV, but I'm on Facebook. That's where I got a lot of my business from was Facebook, and so I'd be focusing on that and not really present, and that's why one of our episodes is, "Hey, I need you at home."
Right.
This one, I think that was our 3rd episode, 4th episode, something like that, and that was one of the arguments me and my wife had because man, I was working every day. I'd get up early in the morning. I'd go to work till almost dark. And even if I didn't work till dark, it was physically demanding. So when I got home, I wasn't doing anything, man. I'm tired. My back hurts, my legs hurt, my neck hurts, whatever. Popping ibuprofen like candy.
One of the nights I came to meet you, you were out. I mean, shoot, it had to have been like 11:30 at night, and you were manually digging post holes for a fence to go up. So it was, I mean, you were definitely covered in mud. I would say you were probably in more shape back then because you did more physical labor.
Well, yeah, I was definitely in more shape there. But he's referencing a time where I was working night shifts for a sheriff's office, and then also taking and spending all day putting up fences. And so it was a lot of times where my even when I was at home, I was focused on work. How was I going to go get the next dollar? How was I going to get the next job? This person they're recommending me for this. How can because I want to make it bigger. I want to be a success and all this other stuff. But what I was doing, I was neglecting her, and she her thing was, hey, I need you at home, and it started off. I was not the person I am now, and so it was arguments where I'd come home and she's mad because this isn't done, that's done, not done. I'm like, what do you want me to do? I'm working a full-time job. I'm working extra, as a full-time job doing a small business, and I'm like, what else do you need from me, and it just ended up being, hey, I need you at home, like when I need a husband. Your son needs his dad to be at home. And that really, I wish I could say that I recognized what she was saying right off the bat, and I didn't. It took. I think she had that argument with me for, I want to say right at 2 years, and then it finally hit where I was like, no, I'm missing out now. Granted, I was there for some stuff, but I was missing out on a lot of things with him growing up.
The little things you don't look at.
Right. Well, it was with him growing up because you only get those. I don't want to say you only get those years once, but it's you really do. They're only that age at a certain for a certain period of time, and then with her, obviously, our relationship's good. We don't have any issues that I'm aware of. And I might be missing.
When perfection walks in.
But it's we were able to work through some stuff, but. What it did is it transpired into having those World War III type arguments over stuff that there's no winning in the conversation, and we actually had one of our biggest arguments was in this time period where